Welcome back in, everybody, to the latest episode of the StricklyNFL podcast. Back after a little hiatus, after the Super Bowl over there. If you're in the Discord, you know that I've been back home enjoying the water and the boats over there back in Greece. Luca was on vacation too, I believe, who's going to be joining us today. And Shwin has not come up on his vacation plans, but we'll get into all that right after this. Just want to let you guys know that the Strickland does have a Patreon. There's a $3 a month, $6 a month, $9 a month tier, as well as further tiers like 15, 30, and 50. You get access to our Discord, discounts on our merchandise on the Strickland website, as well as extra podcasts like this one that you're listening to right now. If you're listening to the YouTube preview, as well as the Strickland Roll, which is Schwinn's, not Strix, Schwinn's pod, where he rants and raves more about the Knicks. And now we are also sponsored by FanDuel, which I was looking today at FanDuel at some lines for the season. And the Giants over under, we will be talking about a little bit on this podcast, their regular season win over under is 5.5 wins. So if you are a very optimistic Giants fan like I am, and you like what they've done over the course of the offseason, you could be looking to take home some money if they hit on that 6-win line throughout the season. The over is plus 110. So if you think the Giants can manage a 6-11 record, which would be a huge accomplishment for this garbage franchise, you can take home some extra money. So with all that stuff out of the way, we will start with who do I want to go with first? Let's go with Schwinn first because he has the best quarterback in the league on his team, and that's what we're talking about today. Schwinn, how you doing, man?
I am good. I'm doing well, enjoying the off season. I haven't watched a second of preseason football because I don't think it's valuable at all.
That's where I'll be spending my Saturday night for those who are listening. We are recording Saturday. I'll probably be out
enjoy
Monday,
that.
but I will definitely enjoy a lot of DJ Davison.
Cam Scattaboo.
Cam Scattaboo is not playing, unfortunately.
He's not playing? Wow.
They said he might be out week 1 now too, so we'll see about that. But we have Tyrone Tracy as well, and we have Luca joining us too as well. Even though he's not part of the Giants, he is a part of this podcast today. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well. Also haven't watched a second of preseason live, at least. Watched Abdul Carter's 3 pressures. Watched Jackson Dart's touchdown pass, and that's really about it. But I'm excited for the season. Optimistic, maybe to my detriment, but we'll see how that goes. So thanks for having me.
You're taking the over 5.5 on the win total is what you're.
I will be taking the over on the Giants win total this season
on FanDuel.
On FanDuel.
Yeah, make sure you do it on FanDuel. All right, so in store for everybody today, we have a ranking of all 32 starting quarterbacks for this NFL season. And just before we jump into it, some teams have no clue who their starting quarterback is, right? Like we have the Browns, we have the Saints, we have the Colts. So for those teams, I didn't pick a specific quarterback. I just put Saints as like number 32 and kept it moving. So I think we'll just hop straight into it. 32, 31, 30. I have Saints, Browns, Colts. Not a lot of names to go through over there.
Do we know who's starting for the Browns yet?
I think it's going to be Joe Flacco.
That's my guess. Yeah.
He's been at the top of their depth chart 2 weeks in a row.
I don't know about that. I saw Shadur Sanders play really well in preseason, so I feel like that should probably change everything.
Let's jump into that a little because I know people want to hear some Shadur talk. Did he play well or did he have production on his stat line? I'm kind of like being a nitpicker with that, but I think there's a little bit of a distinction. Like when I saw Shador and how he came to the stats that he got, I was like, all right, you're the same player that I saw in Colorado. You drift in the pocket. You can kind of manage a tight window sometimes and squeeze the ball in there when it has to get squeezed in. But it looks risky when you do it because you don't have a cannon. And you don't look like somebody who's a top athlete at the quarterback position. That's what I saw, and it was pretty in line with what, like I said, what I think we saw in Colorado.
I barely watched preseason, so I just saw like the clips of whatever he fucking did
I
on my
forgot
timeline.
these.
I don't need to watch preseason. It's actually a great thing. So I just saw like whatever the clips that come across, and it's fine. All I will say is like it's good for him that he like did stuff. Like that's good. That's objectively like what you want to see. I just don't think it matters. Like it's not even to like downplay what he did or like try and shit on him or whatever, but like to me, like this is what I do with like NBA preseason too, where it's more about like if you look really overwhelmed, that means more to me than if you look good, because like you see it as instantly. I mean, you see this, it's easier in the NBA because, you know, like in the NFL, your ones are going to be your ones. And yeah, you'll bring in some like twos, but your threes and fours, like they are never going to see the field really, unless you're in injury trouble. But like you can see in the NBA, right? Like as soon as regular season starts, you'll have guys that are putting up like 25 in preseason, and then immediately it's like, okay, you're actually not good. And then it like levels up, right? Like it's like you go from regular season to postseason, you see the same thing take effect at a higher level.
Yeah.
Like I think if I were a Browns fan, I would probably be happy that at the bare minimum, it seems like he was definitely a plus value in the 5th round, which I thought in real time, like whatever anybody thought about Shedeur Sanders, he definitely dropped an extra round or probably 2 just because teams didn't want to sign up for like
the media stuff.
Yeah, well, it's like he's going to be our backup, but we're going to be talking about this guy 7 like more than any other player in our team. That's just not something we want to do. And so I think that's why he got pushed to the 5th. Probably should have been in like a late 3rd to me, 4th rounder, but like whatever, it doesn't really matter. So if I'm a Browns fan, I'd be happy. I just think that like people should probably pump the brakes on like, oh, all you guys owe an apology. The entire fucking league blackballed him or whatever. I'm like, it's the quarterback position. Like, I don't know what we're talking about. Like, guys at that position don't get blackballed. That's like, you're not playing defensive tackle or like fucking, you know, outside linebacker or some stuff. I mean, like, you're not playing.
If he got blackballed, he would have went undrafted like Isaiah Bond.
If he got blackballed, and that's like him. That was like Isaiah Bond probably being a horrible human being.
Terrible person.
Right? Like that's like, look, that's what that required. And even then you have an example of a guy like Mike Green, who like a lot of fucking red flags. Let's just put it that way. And he gets taken in the 1st round because the talent is the talent. Like he's just, and he plays a premium position, right? That's like one of the top 3 or 4 most important positions in the sport. So like,
probably 3rd, actually, around there.
Yeah. So like that's the point. It's like you don't get blackballed at a premium position because you talk loudly. And like if that was really the case, like dude, Cam Ward went 1. Look at some of the quotes Cam Ward has given out prior to the draft and whatever. Like he's pretty brash. Like I don't think they're punishing quarterbacks for like having a hot. Yeah, they're just not. It's not going to be a thing, especially if you're good enough. And you know, like again, like I think he got pushed down a round or 2, but yeah, I mean, look, whatever. To take it back to this, like, I'm just gonna say, like, I think the Colts should be this. I think this is the Colts.
32?
I put the Colts here. I put the Colts at 32. What is like you have a fucking quarterback battle between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson? Like you drafted this kid
fighting with fucking 2 wooden sticks. That's the battle.
You drafted this kid 3rd overall 2 years ago. The fact that he's in a camp battle with Daniel Jones tells you that pick is done. It's over. Like they're telling you that it's over. We have no faith in him. And Daniel Jones, we know this, is not an answer to anything. He is just a guy who can eat snaps. And like that would have value if you still had faith in Anthony Richardson, right? Like if they had just drafted Anthony Richardson and then you bring in Daniel Jones and they're doing like a fake camp battle thing, that would be fine. Nobody would care. And it might even have value to just be like, hey, Dan Jones, you're going to play the first 6 games, get your ass kicked, and then we're going to bench you. Like, that would have value. This is not that, though. This is Anthony Richardson after 2 years. This is Anthony Richardson after last year leaving a game in which he said he got tired. Like just like a lot of weird shit has gone on with him. His accuracy numbers are, I mean, horrific, like really bad. And this is dating back to college. I just think like what reason is like, at least for the Browns, like the Browns they're eating their shit. Like they're done. Like they know the Watson thing is what it is.
Yeah.
They took 2 shots in the draft, not high value picks, but like took 2 long shots in the draft on quarterbacks. I think they 100% know that I'm 1,000% sure they know Joe Flacco is not the future. But like he is a guy that they know can run. They know he can run their system. So yeah. I'm like kind of okay with that. Like I'm like, okay, like you brought back Myles Garrett. You can't totally punt the season. I'm not saying that Joe Flacco is like some, he's going to lead like a 10-6 season again, like he did a couple years ago with them. But I do think that there's just like a baseline of competence he gives you that they're like, okay, we're comfortable with that. And if one of these young guys pops, cool. If not, whatever. We're not really invested in the position this year. And they obviously traded back in the draft to pick up an extra first in next year's draft. I have a feeling that pick will be good because I have zero faith in that team. But really? Like,
we'll talk about that team later.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Sunshine later. But like, yeah, like I'm actually kind of okay with what like if we're doing this by team versus like if we're doing it by teams, I would put the Browns comfortably ahead of the Colts, who to me look like they're kind of stuck here. They're like, we couldn't take another quarterback last year because our GM would look like a fucking idiot if he did that. And we also can't sign a quarterback because that makes no sense and that's not appealing for them. Like, to me, that's the worst position group there.
Luca, thoughts?
It's hard though because the Saints are pretty bad. Like the Saints QB room is not a pretty situation either. And I could see like the only argument you would have for the Browns over them is Flacco, and I do think Flacco could lead them to like 7 wins or 8 wins. Actually, I'm not sure about their schedule, but like Shwin said, he's a competent quarterback. They have a decent offense around him. The defense is still pretty solid. I like the Mason Graham pick with Myles Garrett. And it's like I said, Tyler Show, I think, is the starting quarterback right now.
It's
Shuck. It's Shuck somehow.
It's Shuck?
Shuck.
Okay. Yep. Tyler Shuck. My apologies. Is the starting QB for the Saints right now, and it's hard to see a worse situation than that for a quarterback, in my personal opinion. But
yeah, I think
I agree with the bottom 3 overall, though.
I do side with Shuck being, or the Saints in general being the last guy, because like if it's not him, it's Rattler, and you're talking about 2 guys who one has never played in the NFL and he's 24. The other guy, what was it? I think he was like round 6 that he went in, and he's gotten snaps and he hasn't been absolutely untenable, but I wouldn't take Rattler over Joe Flacco if I had to win a game tomorrow. And if I'm gonna be honest, man, like in when you're debating garbage and garbage, right, which is essentially what we're doing here between the Colts and the Saints, I just have to give Anthony Richardson the edge because he can house a 75-yard QB power. Like as diluted as that might seem, and as like, okay, well, how can I rebuttal that if like that's the only way that you're judging this? I don't know how to put one over the other. I'm going to be completely honest, and I would just accept the fact that he's 6'5", 240 and has the potential to do something absolutely stupid in the game to win it. So moving on from that tier of absolute misery, the next tier of guys, I feel like this is like a 3-man tier, and they all got 1-year contracts this offseason. The next three guys I had up in this order were Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. What are your thoughts on that order? We'll start with Schwinn.
What was the group again?
So at 29, I had Justin Fields, 28, Russell Wilson, 27, Aaron Rodgers.
This probably is right. I would probably put Fields above both these guys at this point. Just because like he's more dynamic, he's younger. I thought there were like some strides he took last year. I mean, his season obviously got kind of cut short in a way because of Russell Wilson, but I just thought Russell got like super hot right at the start of when he started playing, and then after like 3 weeks of that, he was pretty awful. He can't really make plays out of the pocket anymore. That's like one thing Fields can do. He's like super dynamic with his legs. I think you can run some interesting concepts with him. The problem with all of these guys, I mean, in theory, Rodgers can work the middle of the field. He just doesn't because he wants to play like backyard football and just throw like these fucking, corner routes and whatever the hell.
He loves his timing stuff. He doesn't like when his coach gives him help in the offense.
No, yeah, he doesn't want help. He wants to show everybody that he's still got it. He doesn't. But like, we'll like whatever. For Wilson and Rodgers, it doesn't really matter. They're not good anymore.
Yeah.
They're old. They've had injuries. They've already won shit. Like they don't need to prove anything really at this point in their careers. I almost would feel like when I was doing this, I just did it by tiers. I did not list 32 out. But like I feel pretty confident that Fields will be the best of these three. And I'm not really convinced that I just don't think Russell Wilson's going to finish the season as a starter anyway. So Fields, like he's definitely, as long as he's out there, he's starting. I mean, he basically got that guaranteed in his contract. So, I would put Fields above those two. I don't really have a problem with him being in this grouping because I think from here until like 15-ish is kind of just like pick who you like.
The next tier coming up is like probably the biggest tier in this ranking. And I do think that Russ is by far the most likely to get benched. But when I was thinking about this, I was a little bit of like, all right, am I doing this on who I think is going to be the right order at the end of the season? Am I doing it by week one? Who do I want to win me a game? So I kind of struggled with that a little bit, but I decided eventually that most of this was going to be, I need to win a game week one. Who am I going to take? And I think it's a little bit of an interesting argument because for the Giants, I could see them taking Russ because the Giants have more playmakers than the Jets who they want to get the football to. Like the Giants have Malik, as where the Jets have Garrett Wilson. Advantage there. They have Wandale and Slayton and Theo Johnson. So I think that pretty clearly clears the core of like Malachi Corley, Josh Reynolds, Mason Taylor, whatever. And then when it comes to the line, I think that Russ makes up more for the lack of pass protection the Giants can give him, whereas Fields probably needs the better pocket. So I think both of them landed in situations where they're more optimized. I don't particularly know if I would want Fields more than Russ for like the broader landscape of NFL personnel. I think he fits in generally better. Luca, where do you fall on these guys?
I definitely think Fields is above Russ and Rodgers, maybe not by much.
Okay.
But then past that, I think they're interchangeable to me, Russ and Rodgers. I think it just depends on whose offense you like better. I do think Malik is the best offensive player on both teams, arguably.
No,
Depending on who you ask.
He is.
I think he's better than DK.
Yeah.
But that's really what it comes down to between the two of them. And yeah, Fields is just more dynamic. I think he has a chance to grow still as a quarterback. And yeah, the other guys are just kind of old at this point in their careers and just can't really move around as fluidly through the pocket and like around traffic as they used to.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna make it out of the doldrums of this quarterback ranking, and like that, like first tier of 3, and then this next tier of 3 is like kind of the trash that we have to sort through to start off in the beginning. Now I'll get some more to upside guys. Like, I think McCarthy is somebody who, although I have him at whatever this is, 26, it is. While I have him at 26, I think he can very easily end up being around 16 to 14 range if he has a good season. To follow that up, I have Darnold right after, followed by Michael Penix. And then I think those 3 would be kind of a grouping for me. So just to recap, McCarthy, 26, Darnold at 25, and then Michael Penix at 24. I think those 3 are the first kind of break inside of a broader tier that you could expand if you want to, but I think those guys have proven the least out of that other tier heading up with, which is like Kyler's and Bryce Young's and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you could arguably say Cam Ward could be in that tier.
Yeah, that was the guy I had right after.
Did you say Bryce Young is in this tier as well?
No, I said so. Like, I think from here, right, where you start with like JJ or Sam Darnold, you can kind of go all the way down until like.
Wait, you have Darnold. I think Darnold's above this, man. He actually had a good fucking season.
You have him at like 25?
I have Darnold.
I have him higher than that.
I have Darnold at 25. I just don't see like I can't get behind paying Darnold what they did when you see the way Darnold melted down.
Yeah, but that's like a separate conversation. You're like talking about his contract and like who gives a fuck about his contract? Because if we're talking about contracts and like, you know, then it changes the entire calculation.
Even leaving it out of the conversation. If Cam Ward is who I think he was during the draft process,
is he? I hope he's not who he has looked like in preseason. That.
Well, I thought you haven't watched
or fucking practice from what I've seen.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty, but like I just can't do the Sam Darnold thing. Like I will never ever have faith and clarity of mind if Sam Darnold.
Like nobody's like, oh, I don't like. I'm not like, oh my god, fucking Sam Darnold is the savior. He's like, I'm sorry, you can't tell me he's better. Like, right, if I had to win a game today, if I'm like, all right, I have to win a fucking ball game. So whatever, the 6 guys we talked about, let's just say we all agree they're the worst 6. However you want to rank them, it doesn't matter. Yeah. After that, like, I'm sorry, I'm taking Darnold over McCarthy. I'm taking Darnold over Ward. I'm taking Darnold over fucking Caleb Williams. Like, what has Caleb Williams done? Been awful? He's been terrible. So I'm like, this is if you're gonna give guys the benefit of potential, that's fine. You can say that. That's not how I did this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, to me, Caleb Williams is in this tier right here. What the fuck did he do last year other than look like a jackass and basically prove everything that people were? You remember like all the criticism like leading up to the draft, and then everybody like all these the fucking draft people that like loved him were like, oh, you get like these guys are just haters. You're nitpicking like. You're like insecure because he's like, it's like, no, like, and then he played and it's like, well, it looks like all his teammates actually fucking do hate him. I don't know what to do with that. So you got a guy that like, meanwhile, I see like, I'm watching like the fucking Vikings win 14 games and then they go to the locker room. And the entire team is like lifting Darnold on their shoulders. Like, I don't know. That stuff matters. Like, I'm putting Darnold above these guys. Like, give me Darnold over Penix. Yeah. Penix, McCarthy, Ward. Give me Darnold over. I mean, I would take Darnold. I'd take Darnold over fucking Bo Nix if you really wanted to do that. Like, but I'm not. But like that to me is like whatever. We can get to that when we get to that because I actually have them in the same tier. But like to me, he's like I'll give you the tier I had, which Darnold is not part of. Yeah. So there's tier 5. I had tier 5, which was like to me Shuck, Flacco, Jones. And then I had tier 4, which was in no order. This is just whatever the guys I had. Wilson, Rodgers, Young, Bryce Young. I think like there's an argument for Young to be in the tier above with Darnold, but whatever. Young, Caleb, Penix, McCarthy, Fields, Ward. Like I don't think any of those guys has Wilson and Rodgers obviously in the past have, but they're at a different point in their careers. But like all these young guys, they haven't proven anything to me that they're beyond Darnold. Like to me, they're what was Darnold after 2 years? That's worth exactly what they are. They have everything to prove. I actually feel very confident about Bryce Young. I think he's going to be pretty solid. I'm not predicting superstar, but he's going to be a solid quarterback. I thought all the stuff that he was doing at the end of last year was everything that you saw from him in college. And I just think he got his confidence back.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the hell happened to him his first year there. I mean, it was a terrible situation overall. It's obvious that Reich didn't want him. And so like that sucked. But like, so I feel confident. I actually think like Young will be pretty firmly in tier 3 after the season and has a chance to maybe get to a tier 2 guy. But like to me, Darnold is not with those guys. He is clearly a cut above. And I know that like, oh, well, he hasn't proven anything outside of like the fucking the O'Connell, the Kevin O'Connell system. And it's like, okay, but like he did do that. And they were 14-3. Like, it's not like they went 9-8. They went 14-3. They had like a pretty difficult schedule. They performed well. And yes, the playoff thing was terrible. And that's why I have him in tier 3. I'm not talking about the guy like a franchise guy, but I have to put him above guys that are like, I mean, they haven't even sniffed playing a meaningful game in the NFL yet. Fucking Fields, like Cam Ward, McCarthy, Penix, Caleb, Bryce Young. These guys haven't played a meaningful game in the NFL.